Welcome to Game Time, presented by State Farm. Chris Miles here with David Griffin and Brendan Haywood. The Spurs and the Thunder, our game you'll see right here on NBA TV at 8. We're here to get you ready for that, the rematch, if you call it that. 3 games being played right now and 1 already done. We'll keep you up to speed with those as well. But first, according to multiple reports, 34-year-old J.J. Barea tore his Achilles, out for the season. Brendan, this is a former teammate of yours. If this is the case, because again, these are reports right now, how great of an impact has he had on the Dallas Mavericks with his career?
J.J. Barea has had a huge impact on the Dallas Mavericks since he's been there because he brings energy. He's the same person every day. Everybody talks about the run that he had from the pick and roll standpoint in 2011 and what he did for that championship team. But he was, as good as he was on the court, he's an even better person, better locker room guy. That's one of the main reasons why the Mavericks still have him around is because he can still play, and he's a good person, type of person you want, the type of veteran you want to help lead your young guys into the next generation. So it's unfortunate to see that he's hurt right now, and this is a serious injury. I'm not sure what this means for his career, but we're wishing him a speedy recovery and hope he comes back soon.
Yeah, I just don't think it happens very often that a bench player who's averaging 10.9 points and 5.6 assists has the impact on a team that a 34-year-old J.J. Barea has had on this group. He, along with Luka Doncic, have become really a dynamic duo in the minutes they've played together. And over 200 minutes together, they were outscoring opponents by 15.8 points per 100 possessions. It's a really big number, and it's something that's helped ease Luka into the NBA as well. So in addition to everything he means to the team as a whole, this could have a fairly profound impact on Luka and maybe put him in a tough spot for the next few games as he tries to find his fit again.
Certainly wishing the best for J.J. Barea, a fan favorite down there in Dallas and a champion as well. Detroit, L.A. Clippers, early game today. And, Steve Ballmer, what's up?
I'm out of here. No doubt for you, Mr. Bomber.
I don't think they're friends anymore.
Yeah, I doubt that.
But you know, the crowd still showing some love for Blake Griffin out there in L.A. Spent 8 seasons there. Of course, had some amazing plays. Glimpse of the past from Blake, showing the Clippers what he used to give their fans. Now for the Pistons.
Great footwork, and now you see this is what he's really worked on and what he's really developed the last couple of years, the ability to stretch the defense all the way out to the three-point line, and that's a nasty, tough shot, nasty step back for Blake Griffin.
In case you didn't realize, those were all from the first half. 26 points for Blake by the break. Second half, that's vintage Blake.
That looks like Blake Griffin.
Lou Will also contributing.
Nice floater, nice floater in the lane.
You got a 7-point game.
There's my
and
guy.
LA right back into this.
There's my guy, Montrezl Harrell. He hates rims.
Blake Griffin's like, that's me back then. Now I do this. 44 points for Blake Griffin. Montrezl Harrell again, going vintage Blake to the basket, making it a 3-point game. And Lou Will tying it up in the fourth quarter.
Is Lou Will ever anything other than vintage Lou Will, by the way?
Nope, that is it.
Vintage and clutch.
Those are the 2 words that describe him. Andre Drummond dunking and giving the Pistons a 3-point lead. How about some defense?
That was a foul. That's not any defense.
Yeah, or a mugging.
That is a clear foul.
Hey, no blood, no foul, right? There you go. Blake Griffin running the clock out. And there's some issues, and of course, with who else? Who's that guy to miss? Patrick Beverly. But Lou Will showing the love, not the hate.
Patrick Beverly, he gets into it with a lot of guys, man. Gets under a lot of people's skin.
That list is long.
Huh?
It's a long list.
And Patrick Beverly always looks like he wants to razzle-dazzle. One of these days, he's actually going to get to somebody. We're going to see if he can actually fight.
Well, here's Blake Griffin on that reunion he had with the Clippers today.
Can't say that I really prepared for it. I mean, I looked forward to seeing people that I hadn't seen in forever, people that, like I said, I've grown to be very, very close with over my time here. And but most importantly, I mean, for us, this is a part of the season. I mean, we need wins right now. So coming in and focusing and getting that done was the most important thing for us. For 9 years now, as soon as I'm done doing my pregame shooting, I make sure there's a path and I take off running to the locker room and I don't stop running. So. A lot of you know that. A lot of you have been here for a long time, and a lot of you have seen me do that before. So I don't change that for anybody. to tweet out something like that, like what you did, I thought was kind of because you know that. But that's what it was, plain and simple. It wasn't anything planned. Every single game I've done this for I don't know how long. So.
Would you shake his hand if it wasn't prior to your warm up?
I'm honestly not here to answer hypothetical questions, to be honest.
Well, Blake certainly seemed a little ticked off about what happened before the game, saying that's just part of his pregame routine. But he was certainly fired up once the game started, Brendan. Yeah, and you see it while he's hitting these tough shots. That's a very tough step back right there. And he was able to get it cooking from all angles, have 44 big points. This is an excellent drive by Blake. He sees the lane, takes off, soars through the lane. No one from the Clippers wanted anything to do with that dunk. And this right here is the evolution of Blake, the new point forward. He's initiating the offense, and once he gets the switch, count this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not coming, 7. 7 dribbles and a bully ball move into the paint before anybody comes over to help. Blake is showing you a lot of diversity in his game right now. He came into this league as a guy that was mostly just an athletic dunker. Now he has added a different level of skill. He's able to take advantage of you in all aspects, whether it's behind the three-point line, whether it's with step-back jumpers, or in the post.
It's interesting, too. He came into the league as a dominant rebounder as well. And playing with Andre Drummond, they don't need that as much. And playing with the backcourt that he has, they need the playmaker, Blake Griffin is. And so I think Dwayne Casey's empowered him very much so to take some questionable shots, quite frankly, even if he makes them. I'm not quite sure I feel great about the 24-foot step back. But at the same time, it's what they need from him right now. They need him to carry the mail. And in the month of January, he's averaging 6 assists and only 5.8 rebounds. So he has really evolved as a player and now is almost to the point where he's playing more like a 3 than a 4.
But is that working? Because Detroit came into this game with just 4 wins in their last 20 games. That's even with Blake averaging a career high over 25 points a game. Why is this not working for them?
They just don't have a backcourt that fits together with the rest of the pieces. Relative to Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown, Bruce was 0 for 7 tonight. Bruce is a kid who you saw on that defensive stop at the end on Lou Williams. Maybe it's a foul, maybe it's not, but Bruce is identified by his grit and toughness. Reggie Jackson is a scorer, and tonight he went 4 for 18, but he's not a set-you-up point guard. And what this team really lacks right now is what they lost in Ish Smith's injury. When Ish Smith plays and is available to them, they have more of a point guard who pushes tempo and sets other people up, and they really lack that right now, and I think you see that in their results.
Well, you hit it right on the head. The biggest thing and the biggest reason why this team isn't succeeding is because they don't have, I won't want to say NBA level, but they don't have a high-powered backcourt. When you see a lot of these teams that are powered by their front court, either you have to have guys that can make plays or you have to be surrounded by an incredible amount of shooting. And when you look at this team from the backcourt standpoint, they kind of lack that. Reggie Bullock comes in there sometimes to give them some pop from a shooting standpoint. But from playmakers in the backcourt, this team is severely lacking that. And Reggie Jackson does have some skills, but normally his playmaking is for himself. That's evident in the fact that he only averages 4 assists, even though he is supposed to be a point guard.
That's a great point that you make, and that's why we're seeing Point Blake at this point in his career. Memphis and Miami already in action this early evening, and it's Dwayne Wade. He provides that spark in the backcourt his entire career. Miami ahead in the fourth quarter over Memphis. And we're going to see some Kentucky bigs go head-to-head. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, going to tip off at 8 o'clock. That should be a good one between Big Cat and the Brav.
Sixers come into tonight's game against the Hawks in 4th place in the East and sporting the NBA's best home record at 18-3. But they are one of the league's worst teams when it comes to turnovers. The Hawks lead the league with 18.7, then the Mavs, the Suns, and the 76ers. And it's ironic because a team as high in the standings as they are, and yet they're among the league leaders in turnovers. Smitty, are these turnovers a serious problem for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Anytime you have turnovers, it's a serious problem because you're giving up possessions. And I think they're not the Golden State Warriors where they can make up possession with the 3-ball. And I think the one thing for them is, and they're not deep enough as far as bench as of today. I look at the Philadelphia 76ers when it comes down to playoff
series where 1 to 2 possessions can be the difference between you winning not just the game but the series. You have to value the ball. You can stay in games if you just value the ball and don't kill yourself. And making mistakes like that, and especially turnovers, that's what will happen to you.
Joel Embiid will not play tonight. J.J. Redick, however, is available after missing a couple of games. Jimmy Butler, I want to talk with you guys about him. Is he in the way, or is he making the Sixers better?
Well, he's both, because when he plays and he's not a distraction, they've been very good. And obviously, we look at the type of player he is. But when he's a distraction, I look at it as Jimmy Butler's in the way, because you got to start looking at it right now is, yes, wins and losses, unless you ultimately can win a championship with Jimmy Butler being a distraction, he's going to have to find a way. And I know the last part, they've downplayed it, but it's still things keep coming up. And maybe it's the media added a little bit more to the fire. Jimmy has to find a way, and yes, that's his personality. What it comes down to now, can you have this type of personality and win games? And that's the part for me is I would say, yeah, because they're winning games. But they're not going to be judged in the regular season. They're going to be judged in the playoffs, in my opinion, B. Will.
I don't think he can continue this. I do believe he has been a distraction at times, and he's been a distraction at other stops. I believe he's a great player. He works hard. He's somebody that you want on your team, but I think this is something that he has to clean up. And this has to be a conversation that he has with himself in the mirror. He is too good to be caught up and be in these type of conversations. We shouldn't be having a conversation like this about Jimmy Butler. It should be more about his play. Unfortunately, it's been about these incidents from Minnesota to now in Philadelphia, and they don't have the type of team, and they don't have enough, I'll say, veterans to where they can survive this type of thing. They have a lot of strong presences in that locker room, a lot of strong personalities. They all need to be on the same page. Jimmy Butler doesn't need to be a distraction. And winning sometimes can be like a cologne. You can spray it on and it can cover up some of the stink of what's really going on. But at some point, that cologne's going to fade, and what really is there, you're going to smell it.
The problem I had, B, when we said that other day, is you have a big three in Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, and Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is not a factor when you start talking about offense, and I'm not saying because he couldn't shoot the basketball. He's a big point guard who wants to pass. There's no doubt the number one option is Joel Embiid. So you're the second option, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're a great player, B Wood throw it to me early. I can make plays off a catch and shoot. B Wood give it to me, go one-on-one. B Wood gives it to me. But if he's Joel Embiid, I'm going through him, and I'm going to play off him. Whatever numbers I get, long as we're winning, it shouldn't be anything talked about offense.
And to your point, the numbers are still there for Jay. It's not like Embiid's going to score 50 points a game. The numbers can still be there for Jimmy. And the Sixers, who are looking up in the standings at the Bucks. And, guys, they enter tonight's game against the Wizards in Washington with the best winning percentage in the league at .725. They're 29-11. And here's why. Third in offensive rating, third in defensive rating, and first in net rating. B. Wood, can the Bucks make it to the NBA Finals?
Yes, the Bucks can make it to the NBA Finals. We have seen this type of system that Coach Bud had work in Atlanta, and Atlanta had a great run, and Atlanta had a chance to make it deep into the playoffs. They just ran into that guy, I think you know his name, LeBron James? Yeah, that's his name. The big guy in Cleveland used to wear the headband. Long story short is they couldn't get past that guy because Atlanta, as good as they were, they didn't have the best player in the series. Guess what Coach Bud has now? The Greek Freak, a guy in the name of Giannis Antetokounmpo. He can be the best player in a series. He can take over a series in multiple ways. He guards multiple positions. He can score the ball. He rebounds the ball, and defensively he can clean up things with block shots. So they can run their same ball movement style. They can attack you with Giannis. They're spreading you out to the three-point line. Oh, they have a stretch five in Brook Lopez that creates these huge gaps that Giannis and everybody else can drive through. And they have one of the most slept-on players in the league in Malcolm Brogdon on their team. And he, with his shooting ability and the way he gives them another point guard on the floor, he eases some of that pain offensively as well. I think they can definitely make a run.
I look at it as they make a run. If one thing for me is Chris Middleton has to be like Chris Middleton was last year. And people don't understand it's a slight move that Bud made. It's a sacrifice on Chris Middleton. It is totally a different position when you play the 2 and the 3. So now he's at the 3 with Brogdon starting and also Bledsoe. If he can get his confidence back and get a reason why he's able to be consistent at the 3, it's totally different. I played the 2. And there's a little bit of shooting over guys at the 2, right? I got to pick up the 1 at times. When you're at that 3 and B. Wood is at the 4 and I got to pick up 4s and I got to shoot over taller guys, it makes it a little bit different. I got to see Chris Middleton get comfortable like he was last year, then I think they have a chance.
So James Harden, as we shift